All right, here's the nightly progress report on this audio board for the McGrath Mini amplifier. Got 3 out of the 4 preamp sections wired in now. The latest one being the M section here. Gain stage. That's associated with the third 12AX7 tube here. And as you can see, I've got components fit into this big area, but still got plenty of room for the last section, so board real estate's looking good. Got some components up here. Here are the resistors for the cold switch, which is right here, 3-position switch, which switches various amounts of resistance into the cathode of the first triode section. Then I've got various components all over the board. These capacitors here are for the tone stack, which is associated with the bass, mid, and treble pots which connect there. Here's the gain pot over here with some of these 470 puff capacitor and 470K resistor circuits that are located throughout the Marshall circuit, kind of high-pass filters to give it that distinctive crunchy Marshall sound. So yeah, this circuit, the circuit values associated with these two triode stages are borrowed directly from the classic Marshall JCM 800 or 2203 circuit found in Marshalls from the late 70s and early 80s, which is the best distortion circuit in my opinion, especially when it has gain in front of it, as it does with this amp. So this is a sound unit that I like to use in a lot of my amps for a gain stage, a distortion stage. But I've made some modifications to the original Marshall circuit. For one thing, I put in this 3-position cold switch here that allows one to alter the resistance in the cathode of this so-called cold clipper stage. When the switch is in the middle, only this 39K resistor is in the circuit, which is the value that was used in Soldano amps, not in Marshalls. When it's connecting these two contacts, it puts a 13K in parallel with the 39K, which works out to be approximately 10K, and that is the value classically used by the Marshall. So that's the Marshall position. In the middle is the Soldano position. And then when the switch is connecting these two contacts, it puts a 2.2K in parallel with the 39K, which brings it down to a value slightly under 2K, which is turns this just into a regular tube gain stage without any cold clipping behavior at all, essentially. And so that's a useful position to have as well. The cold clipping results in an asymmetrical clipping waveform. One polarity of the wave gets clipped more than the other, and that tends to accentuate even harmonics and lead to a sweeter distortion sound. So that's the theory behind that. But again, it was used in the Marshall JCM 800, and so I've got it reproduced here with additional variability with the cold switch there. And then the next stage is the same as Marshall used with the 820 in the cathode. And So this is all the same, but then the other change I've made is after this stage, Marshall went into a cathode follower stage to drive the tone stack, and I have eliminated that stage just to really simplify the circuit and minimize the number of tubes that I need to do all this. And because I found the tone stack behaves largely the same, and the sound is very similar to the Marshall JCM 800. There may be some people who can detect the missing cathode follower. Maybe it changes the sound in some subtle way or other, but basically, for my purposes, this one tube circuit here has all the crunchy, distorted sound of the Marshall JCM 800 that I look for, and the tone stack has all the same frequency response with a rather high mid-range, almost a treble, and yeah, all the values are the same as with Marshall. There's just not a cathode follower right there, and to my ears, that doesn't seem to make much difference, and it's beneficial to eliminate the need for that tube stage and be able to use my tubes for other more useful purposes, like the effects loop that's over here, which is the last section, which I have yet to put in. But you can see I've got plenty of room here. These are the plate resistors associated with the V4, the effects loop 12AX7, and I'll have enough room to fit all that in there. And so this board's shaping up pretty nicely, and everything looks like it's going to fit well. Here's what the other side looks like. So that's what we're looking at this point. One more section to wire, and then we'll be ready to wire in the switches and jacks to this and the pots, and getting pretty close to where it'll be time for the first audio tests of this thing. So that's the progress for today. Boop.